What's up, what's up? It's your man, The Real Deal, again with another video. Yeah, baby. Well, the OG, I've been up and down just like this weather. One day it's cold, the next day it's hot. That's just how I've been feeling. But however, I've been getting my rest on and drinking a lot of fluids. So, I'll be all right. But I tell you, people, your health is your crown and glory. Believe that. And that's what brings me to the title of this video. The mental health issues facing the black community. We as the black community has been dealing with mental health issues for a very, very long time. I mean, we can go all the way back to slavery, but we're going to talk about, modern day. Now, when I was a boy, every household in the black community had somebody in the family that was suffering from a mental illness. But before integration, we took care of our own. I remember going over to the relatives' homes and, in particular, my Aunt Mildred. When we was kids, you go over to relatives' house, you speak. You go back there and say hi to your auntie. And, she'd be back there in her room. And, a kid and with his inquisitive nature be like, Mom, Dad, what's wrong with her? Well, she's not wrapped too tight. They didn't use these politically correct terms that they use today. You dig what I'm saying? But that's something that we've been facing for a long time in our community. Schizophrenic, manic depressive, paranoia, anxiety. Manic depressive, man. I mean, I can go on and on and on. And that's something that we really need to address in the black community, because this is something that was passed down generational. And I'm referring to the hood, because I'm in the hood. I don't know what's going on in the suburbs. I don't live in the suburbs. But anyone that comes to the inner city, you see you're homeless, or you see some lady pushing a shopping cart. They're mentally, there's something mentally wrong, with that person. And, the thing about it that's disturbing about, that situation that we facing is our brothers and sisters that's having these mental issues. Where is the families? Now, not all families is tossing their loved ones to the curb. But nowadays, you see more and more of these mentally ill people in our community that they receiving help from the government, but they so-called guardian or caretaker take the money and just leave them hanging. And the police department is not equipped to handle the mentally ill. They'll, instead of trying to talk them down or tase them or whatever, it ends up tragic. Somebody ends up killed by the police. And then let's address this post-traumatic stress that the young ones is going through in these war zones in the hood, in Chicago, Newark, and, across the country. You got children, man, from 5 years old to 18. You put them all in a room together and ask them this one simple question. How many of you know someone that's been shot? Well, how many of you have a family member that's been killed? And you'll see a lot of them raise their hands, and that's a sad situation. So you got a lot of young children, man, it's in elementary school, junior high school, that's suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome all day long. And then, your average functional person that's going to work, providing, is suffering from some type of mental illness. Because if you working in a high stressful job and you dealing with some, redneck racist supervisor that's sweating you every day, that can bring on some stress, hypertension. Some people end up cracking under the stress. So, the black community has a lot of mentally ill people in our community that's not being, taken care of the way they're supposed to be taken care of. Society has a way, and even our own people has a way of just sweeping it under the rug. See, and that's one of the things about the black community. The black community does not want to talk about mental illness. That's taboo. But yet and still, you see more and more of these people out here that's homeless, that's got families, and the only reason that they're homeless is because they mentally ill. And no one is looking after them the way they're supposed to be looked after. So I guess my closing is this. Black folks, before we can build, economically, and financially, we also have to address, our mentally ill brothers and sisters out here, man. Because there's nothing more worse than seeing, an older sister, man, pushing a shopping cart with all her worldly belongings in there, and ain't nowhere in the world, in so-called America, that this should be happening to our people. To our people. We could talk about racism all you want to, white supremacy, you know what I'm saying? That's not going away. But one thing that really, really concerns the black community is our people and our people's mental health. So that's something to think about. That's something to think about. Sometimes, man, I feel like I'm about to crack under the pressure. You know what I mean? But I have an outlet, and that's this. Being a YouTuber. Relieves a lot of stress. Because putting together a video, it's not that easy. It's not that easy at all. But from this brother to y'all, you see that mentally ill person, man, you feel like, you take that wide berth around them. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? But this your man, Real Deal, out of the city of Gary, Indiana. GI, baby. Peace.